Seeing as how it seems like we always talk about way more on this show than the subject at hand, it's hardly a surprise that it happens once again. But this time, although unintentional, there seems to be an overarching theme that permeates even the dumbest of distraction. That theme stands out to me as being about faith. Being faithful, faithless, faithfully faithless, and assuredly other deviations of the sort. Faith can be mindful, it can be caring, it can mean love. Faith can also be abused, it can be a weapon, and it can mean destruction. Believing what you believe may or may not be or become a fool's errand. At the end of it all, I suppose faith is more like playing the stock market than anyone probably wants to think. If you back the wrong stock and it tanks, is it the market's fault? Or is it yours for handing over the reins to someone else? Hello, everybody out there listening to us. I would like to start this episode with a wonderful little tidbit factaroony about our good buddy and yours, Robert. He can recite the entirety of Whoop, There It Is by Tag Team.
Well, we all got our special talent.
I find that super. Yeah, you're like the chick from the Breakfast Club that puts her lipstick on with her boobs. You know?
Better than the pixie stick lady that puts it on bread.
Oh, come on. That was just lunch. That wasn't a talent. Pretty sure she could at least like turn her eyelids inside out or something. No, you know what? Her talent was if you just put one of those little hairband things in her hair, bam, cute. Cute enough for a football player to fuck. That's talented.
I mean, I don't know that I would call it talent. I'd probably call it something more like, never mind.
Would you like me to start humming the Jeopardy theme song here?
Oh, I swear to God, I was hoping that you were about to say the Jefferson theme song.
That would be way better.
Moving on up
to the east side.
Come on. Yeah, moving on up.
That was it.
If you're gonna do it with feeling. To a deluxe apartment in the sky.
I don't like squeezing my balls that hard to get my voice that high. Very uncomfortable.
You know, you get used to it. So on my falsetto may not be fucked with. I can hit the highest note in Take On Me.
What?
Not while I'm sitting down though, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I can straight up sing the entirety of that song, and I do so at karaoke nights, to most people's amazement.
Are you sure you're not related to Barry Gibbs?
I cannot sing "Staying Alive," or clarity, I choose not to.
I don't know how that's human to be able to do that with a man's voice. It just doesn't seem, I mean, not unnatural necessarily. It just seems like a complete and utter anomaly. That is.
I mean, it's just takes training, you know. It's all about learning your diaphragm and how it fits in your life.
I mean, I guess, but then to be able to train it in such a way that you make that your career, not just singing, but singing at the most ridiculously awkward yet melodic tone I've ever heard in my life. Or series of tones.
Okay, so the Bee Gees, they had the high pitch that was, you know, weird disco, but then you have Prince, whose regular speaking voice was like this. Hi, I'm Prince, and I'm here to get every single one of you motherfuckers pregnant.
In the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
But then he's all like, you know, bringing it all up high and stuff in the registry, and you're still just like, oh, I felt it. There's a baby in me now.
Yeah, I mean,
You sexy motherfucker. All right, so on the immaculate conception of everyone that's ever been to a Prince concert, we will say, welcome to another super goddamn sexy episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
the UFOs, the conspiracies, the high pitches that I can't hit, and murders.
And me.
My
Is your
voice
food
just
gonna be
don't
done
do
tonight,
that.
Chris?
What?
Is your food gonna be done tonight on time?
Oh, I already ate. I knocked it all out.
God. Thank you, because as entertaining as that was, hearing you stir a pot for a half an hour while we were talking
Half an hour, my
was
ass. You
a
only
bit-
heard it one
a
time,
bit much.
maybe
And
twice.
I didn't hear it, I guess, because the way you hold your phone, but you definitely was like right next to the mic that you were recording on.
I mean,
I heard-
anywhere in this truck is kind of like right next to it in a way.
Yeah.
Unless
So is
I'm
it gonna get
it's,
worse
it's
this
odd
week?
though. It's
worse.
it.
But wait, it gets
Yeah,
worse.
or is it going to get better and happier? And are we finally going to find out that black magic?
Oh,
You know what, guys? It's not to be that scared of because rainbows are made from it.
yeah. Rainbows are.
I mean, you have to kill a bunch of kids and old people to make rainbows, but hey, rainbows, guys.
Yeah, they're pretty. They are. They are a lovely, lovely byproduct of, well, almost genocide in a way. Okay, well, maybe
know,
not
but-
genocide. Let's
but
say
hey,
like patricide.
you know what?
Or,
Still, rainbows, guys. I mean, come on.
Fucking-
What kind of? It's like one of those everyday miracles. You know, it's finding a penny on the ground, and a very few people have to die for that to happen.
yeah, imagine what it
So,
takes to create a double rainbow.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
See, that involves necrophilia.
I was
so
gonna say somebody's getting
we're not-
fucked for this one.
Gross.
Not gonna be going super into that tonight unless Robert feels comfortable talking about that one time.
That
No,
one
we're gonna
time.
skip that for my
Rob-
enigma wrap.
Robert does not.
Tortilla.
He does
episode.
not feel comfortable talking about that one. So, Chris, I think a good place to jump back into the disgusting waters of India, but not the Ganges because lots of dead bodies in there.
No, God no.
But then again, all the fat and stuff, once it's processed through the churning waters of the gross, disgusting poop water, it turns into like a kind of a sudsy soap. So, maybe
Yeah.
take a dip.
Yeah, so does the fucking surf on the edge of the waves that hit the shore, and yeah, that's just fish cum bubbles. Like that's not. It's not something to
fish
wash
cum
thy
bubbles
feet in.
mixed with liquidated human fat
That's why I
and
never drink water,
liquidated
because fish poop in there.
human poop.
That's right.
Yes. Well, I don't do it because they fucking there. I mean, if they were just gonna poop in it, that's fine. You can filter that shit out. You can't filter out the memories of a night that you just got too drunk and fucked that fish.
Gross.
Well,
That sounds
All
that's what I'm
right.
talking about.
sweaty. And
So,
so do some of the things
last
we're
we
gonna be
left
talking
off-
about. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to assume that every single person that you mention in tonight's episode was sweating profusely the entire time
You know,
because they are in India.
the funny thing is, I don't think they do. Like, I don't think they do sweat profusely. I think they're just used to it. So, like, the body
How?
produces a patina that, like, keeps the sweat in and, like, just has this sheen to it. But at the same time,
so
there's
they're
so
just
much
shiny.
dust in the air from, curry cloud storms and, cinnamon bombs and stuff like that. That I think,
Yeah.
I think that patina just keeps them from sweating, and it also keeps them smelling like Damn it, I can't think of an Indian dish, and I
Like
fucking love
wombat.
Indian food.
Ooh.
I just,
But you know that beautiful, wonderful patina that's there keeps their insides fresh, so they get to live to the ripe old age of 45 most of the time.
it does. It does. It keeps them from losing all kinds of vital ingredients that help keep them young.
Like somehow their dignity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's kept so fresh for so long.
Man, and
But-
does it make for a hell of a mustache?
Oh my God, Indian mustaches are not to be fucked with.
That's to be fucked with.
It's just like if God was like, okay, you guys can have either like being clean and smelling good and like living comfortably, or you can have the greatest mustaches on the planet. And they didn't even think about it. It was like everybody's just like mustache all at the same time, and that's how babies are made.
Tickle it. No, it doesn't.
Bible fact.
Don't grow that for that
So-
reason. You know what?
When
I was thinking.
what?
Uh-oh.
I doubt that seriously.
No, never mind. I just totally forgot it. All right, moving on.
So when we last left,
Oh, now I
Chris
remember.
and his son of a bitch.
Shut your face. It occurred to me that perhaps India might have been where, all the white boys decided that they were going to do dreads. Like that's probably where they got it from. Because like India's the only other people that aren't, African in any type of descent that fucking actually does dreads. But not like as a religious thing,
And-
just as more of a I'm not
Okay,
doing anything
so-
else with
so-
my hair ever again sort of thing.
So it's a lazy factor. It's a lazy, dirty factor, which is what it is with white people too.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, and I'm very excited to see how this ties in with black magic. So
It doesn't.
dreadlocks and black
It
magic.
doesn't. I just think it's kind of cool
Oh.
that old Indian guys. It's
Oh.
not even the young hipster or surfer or like wannabe cool Indian guys that have the dreads either. It's like,
Are there a lot of Indian surfers?
no, I don't
Is
think
that a
there
thing
are.
that we have to worry about
Well,
taking
we're
over the
gonna
world
go
like
hand in
Beatlemania?
hand.
Dead bodies don't make good waves.
Okay, that was a Scottish surfer
Yeah, it was.
that Robert was just
I
intimidating.
was trying not to burp in the microphone.
But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's a safe place. It's a safe place.
I'm just saying.
But
Tell the old guys.
at 11 minutes and 18 seconds,
Why are you always doing that to me?
last because you're always having. Oh, because you know what? And it's not even your fault. It's me and Robert. We're the ones. Well, actually,
Oh no,
tonight
my
it's your
friend,
fault
this
too.
is not
You-
my fault. You are the one who was procrastinating.
Ooh, that's right.
I thought we said you get one of those a year.
One? Just one?
Oh. Well, okay, so that one didn't sound super racist, but I don't want him getting comfortable making other ethnicities.
Oh,
Oh,
just one
no.
voice.
Voices
I could
on
do
the
the
show.
entire episode in this accent. I could do the Irish.
No, you can't. Nope. I don't think you can. Pretty sure that
I mean, you're capable.
that was some kind of weird. I was. It's weird.
frowned
Okay,
upon.
so but when we last left Chris and his magical mystery tour bus of wonderful, disgusting, grotesque facts of India, we had just learned that
Of
this
which
lady-
There are many.
had some people kill her nephew because she was it like she had restless leg syndrome at home or some shit like that. Like that's how stupid and small and weird shit is for you to just be like, oh, you mean my brother's kid that I love? Oh, yeah, we could kidnap him and like make a bunch of holes in his head and shit, as long as it means when my husband gets home he stops farting so dang much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't care how much the gods favor you. It's all in your diet, bro.
Well, that's what I mean. But you could be like, I want him to stop farting so dang much, but boy, we really do love that broccoli and cheese soup.
In India, I think the tantric god
Hey,
man
man.
says, Okay.
We eat Indian food. Why wouldn't they eat shitty American food?
No, because they don't. Because they don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you knew every Indian on India.
On
You and me,
India,
we're gonna have
you
a problem
say.
before the show's over, Chris.
On
Keep this up, I'm
India.
going to tell another cruise story. I'm telling you.
No, stop it.
All right. Well, as colorful a recap as that was, albeit only mostly accurate, yeah, that's pretty much it. Bitch kidnapped her own fucking nephew to.
It was sad. And had the father help her dig the half-assed hole that they couldn't even fit the kid into.
So fucking outlandish. It's just like in this country for something like that to happen, that would be the most fucking ridiculously televised and like protested, and you know what I mean, like Americans would flip the fuck out if some shit like that happened, and it was actually brought to light that this is exactly why that happened. You know what I mean? For the most part, we have, we got the whole satanic panic in the 80s, which we'll be doing.
Which was all bullshit.
Piece by
Satan and his
piece.
rock music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll cover eventually all of the instances that came about on both sides of the satanic panic eventually, but but yeah, that's all we had, and none of it was actually proven necessarily, as far as the media, the mainstream media is concerned. None of it was actually proven, quote unquote. However, the evidence involved in some of those cases, namely the preschools, were pretty fucking serious. Like, some of those stories, the satanic panic, were intense. But either way, like, none of them were the government at the end going, yep, this is what happened. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
But here in India, it's the government going, another one? Damn. That's like the 50th one
keeps happening.
This
This is crazy.
In this state alone.
Indeed.
Right?
Must be Tuesday again.
Right. Well, I mean, see, the funny thing is that there's this whole debate about whether or not it's based on your level of poverty and subsequently your level of education and intelligence versus a religious thing, specifically a religious thing, like not a combination of both of those two different things, but one or the other. Is it one or the other? Is it both? Is it what could really stop this from happening? Because what's going on right now, because this whole Maharashtra, the state of Maharashtra passing this fucking new law, which I'm not going to repeat the name of. See the previous episode for that fucking shit. What's that?
It was the Patriot Act.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
So, because Maharashtra is the only state in the entire country of India to have passed such a thing, and it was still so recently. I mean, we're in 2018 now, so it was 5 years ago. However, 5 years is not a long time for an ancient ass country who has done the same shit for a long fucking time.
Right.
So what's going on right now, and the struggle are surrounding that law, is that there's a lot of people who are obviously the charlatans and such, and the believers are on one side, and then you got the atheist slash the people who are trying to save the other people from fucking being duped, and all these other people who are going against it.
The smart people, yeah.
Right, but there's not enough of them, and the poverty level is so
severe. Like the gap, the poverty, the gap between the richest and the poorest is it just so immeasurably immense, and the richest are so unbelievably fucking rich, and the poorest are so unbelievably fucking poor.
Indeed.
And not only is there this huge gap with almost no middle class whatsoever, there's a huge difference in numbers. There's, I mean, maybe 1% of India's population is on the upper class scale,
if that.
and then the rest is living in basically what we would call open air sewers.
Yeah. No fucking plumbing or
also
electricity.
so ingrained in their society and who they are. I mean, you think about something where your great grandfather, your grandfather, all the way down to you has been believing and practicing this, and you're not going to turn that around in a heartbeat.
Right.
No.
And if that thing that's been passed down for generations is like mountain man tap dancing, not so bad. But if that thing is sacrificing children to Kali for, more solid bowel movements, then that's I think it's not a win-win. So
I mean, but boasting 1/7 the world's population, yeah. Man, it's almost like even the poor know or think that other poor people won't be missed because there's just too goddamn many of us. But really, okay.
Oh yeah.
So what's really happening though is that it is still so new, and the population's so big, and the poverty level so severe that it's been passed, and some people know about it. But those are the only people that have been. There's pretty much only the people that have been arrested for it, and or the people who actually can read the news and follow the news in any way, and or the police officers that now have to make these arrests and enforce it. Right, but there's no actual
even the
police
officers that will look the other way too.
Exactly.
They're part
including
of it.
The politicians as well, who are paying these men to come and do shit for them.
Well,
so
I mean, I was about to say, how do you think they got their fucking jobs to begin
How
with?
deep
It wasn't
do they
through
go?
Hard work and perseverance.
right, how deep does it all really go?
I would say probably about 6-7 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, on a good day. I hear India's pretty average. But anyway, no, I think that's the problem. If you can't, they don't have a special task force to enforce this. So there's no special uniform or anything like that people would immediately recognize, and you know what I mean. And so, but with the place being so fucking huge and only one state having it, the knowledge of that doesn't get out of that area. So none of the rest of the country knows anything about it.
Can already hear the Law and Order boom boom. Mystical based crimes are considered especially meh in the state.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting to the Indian government at large is that we start a billboard campaign, and it'll just have like a lady with like the arms up in the air kind of shoulder shrug, and it's just gonna say, "Hey, did you know that it's not exactly cool to kill kids just because you have the gout?" And like you make it relatable to the person at the ground level, to where they're like, I never thought about that. Maybe a couple weeks of some topical ointment would take care of something I've been killing toddlers for years.
Lost your car keys? Don't have a child sacrifice to find them.
Try animals instead.
I mean,
don't do that. I'm just saying, I think that's probably where they would go with it.
No, I mean, do the whole feather Indian thing instead of the dots. The Native American Indian thing. And if you're going to sacrifice an animal to your gods or whatever, eat the motherfucker afterwards. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste.
Native Americans practice cannibalism and all kinds of shit.
Oh, I'm sure most of them did. Yeah, I would love to.
I mean, not anymore, but we'll get on. I mean, maybe. Who knows? They do drink a lot.
Well, as far as Americans, the most retarded, excuse me with that word, I meant to say ridiculous Americans are concerned. Yeah, the only thing we really know about Native Americans is that's one of the good things, is that they don't waste.
You give them beads.
The animal.
They give us land. I mean, that's all I pretty much know.
corn. But they really, those were Mexican
excuse me.
Indians.
It's called maize.
Maíz in Spanish. Maíz.
Okay, so we know that it's just going to be ridiculously hard to get this message out about, hey, human sacrifice isn't exactly like the coolest thing you guys could be doing. So like, what comes of this? Has there been like I mean, you said that there's been backlash, but I mean, what's
the
the
backlash was
population?
against the law being passed, not against the people practicing it.
Right, exactly. So how do you change a mind like that?
Well, see, that's the debate between the smart people right now. They have to get to the root of how to change that thought process in that, but at the same time not kill their culture and their religion, and all
Right.
that, because
I
that's
mean,
obviously detrimental to.
It
for a lot of
sounds
reasons.
like that sounds real serious, and like it's going to take some time and patience and shit, but I mean, shit, man, that's almost like a master debate.
A whole lot of precious time.
They just do
gonna
what
take
we do to
plenty
the
of time.
Westboro Baptist Church people here. We just ignore them and shun them, and eventually they go away.
Yeah, but the Westboro Baptist Church fuckers are like 12 people, and here it's like every other person either has sacrificed someone or has paid someone to.
And it just, even if everybody knows about it, there's not enough police. There's not enough that.
How could there ever possibly
Right.
be?
Yeah. That, I mean, and it's so messed up. Like they're the one guy, which never mind. I'll get to that later. So let me go back into some of this. So on the last episode, the last thing I think we mentioned was some of the things that they'll have these rituals done for, such as warding off the evil eye, like I said, or the golden showers.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's largely associated, the practice of human sacrifice is largely associated with the cult of tantrism, which I mentioned, but it is basically, it's a spiritual movement that originated in medieval India. So right around the 8th century, I guess, is when this particular practice saw its peak, of fame for the most part, and a lot of the rites did involve blood sacrifice, human sacrifice, and ritual cannibalism. However, it's like the scholars are basically saying that this cult, this offshoot sect, is just basically got the interpretation all wrong. It was supposed to be symbolic.
Oh.
It wasn't supposed to be for really real.
Okay. Okay. So you were. Oh, yeah.
You mean people took?
It's weird that. Yeah, that some people took some ancient words and were like, wait, okay, so we start doing this now, and they weren't supposed to be like, hey, this is exactly what they meant to say exactly. That's weird. I don't think that's ever happened before or after.
What?
Or after? No, never. Not at all. It's never actually happened with the fucking snake charmers and the goddamn fucking this
Snake oil salesman and the snake skin boots and snakes in general.
Man, this is like the whole subject of we bash it in little tiny, like, in our own way, respectful ways, damn near every episode. But this is the kind of thing, this shit right here is the kind of thing that should be absolute proof that this ruse has gone on for far too long, and it has.
Yeah, because it's fucking dangerous.
Exactly, it has warped the minds of entire nations to the point that it's almost irreparable. If This
And you
shit's
wonder why
crazy,
the
and this
aliens
is
don't talk to us.
yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. And but this is not the only country that has not this exact particular problem, but stemming from the same main issue. You
Oh, there's
know,
stories all over. I heard a story yesterday out of West Africa. A shaman was shot and killed, and because he was selling charms that supposedly made you bulletproof, and the guy didn't believe that it made you bulletproof. He had a little skepticism in him, so he had the guy hold the charm while he shot the witch doctor, and of course, the charm didn't work. Shock, shock. But
wow.
Maybe that's the kind of charm that Brandon Lee had when they were shooting the
Ooh,
crow.
too soon.
Gauntlet thrown.
Man.
Come at me, Brandon Lee.
Come at me.
You better watch them crows, man. You're gonna have one tapping on your window.
Shit.
That's all right. Those are smart fucking
Yes, they
birds.
are.
Scary smart birds. Ugh.
Yes, they are. But no, Baba Rabat, you're absolutely right. The shit happens in all kinds of places, and it's usually a poverty thing, because what other options do we fucking have, right? We're trying to turn leaves into fish because a fucking leaf on the ground or still on the tree is like the most abundant thing that we could possibly eat.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it doesn't work,
And
it's still kind of roughage, so we might as well still eat it.
Yeah. Like they're standing around being like, hey, there's so many leaves. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just eat those instead of starving to death, guys?
Yeah.
And then one guy was like, holy shit, I think I made this one a fish. And he fucking shoves it in his mouth real quick. And he's like, oh my god, I think it was a fish. And then everybody's just like, hey, all these leaves are fish, guys. And then it's, everyone is the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz after that.
Indeed. Well said. So, human flesh in Tantrism is considered what's called Mahaprasad, which means great oblation. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a text, a tantric text from the 12th century called the Kalika Purana, and it has an entire chapter on the procedure for human sacrifice. And it actually goes into stating that the sacrifice of a man would keep the goddess Kali pleased for 1,000 years, and all as well as the devotees of that particular ritual.
Well, I mean, that would seem like you'd only have to, like, sacrifice a man once every 1,000 years, then.
Per cult, or per sect, per family,
Well,
per...
I mean, so, like, per person? Like, one sacrifice per person kind of deal?
Yeah, basically. Or if you're doing it for your household, then it's your household. Not your family, your household. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Right. And so then you have to do one for the family, then you have to do one for the pets.
There you go.
You have to make sure that your shitty little 92 Honda Prelude's fucking gonna work a little longer. You have to do one for that.
Yeah, because you think about it, and anything that holds power over you is never going to give you exactly what you want. I mean, I think the tales, and whatever lore has proven that anytime you leave something up to chance when you're fucking with a celestial being, or something like that, a mythological creature, they're gonna fuck you. If you're not very specific, they're gonna screw you.
If God is real, he has one hell of a sense of humor.
Oh my God. No pun intended there, but yes, you're absolutely
Do you call
right.
do you call it a sense of humor, or do you call it straight up dickhead? Because I mean, I laugh when someone trips and falls down and they scrape their knee, but I'm not gonna laugh if someone trips and falls down and human sacrifices another person on the way there.
Well, I mean, it depends on how they do it, I guess.
Yeah, if it's like really funny.
Hey,
like
there's a
the
train
other person
there.
slips on a banana peel or some shit. Yeah, that might be okay. But
Watch out for that train. Um,
God is a dick, and he wants you to see other people die of terrible things.
watch out for that train. Sonny Bono?
Yes, watch out for that tree. It's got a bunch of dudes hanging from it because we killed them all because we wanted lottery numbers.
Fucking lottery numbers, man. The goddamn... Why is there even a lottery in India, for real? Like, is it just so that rich people can trade money?
Well,
Probably, but I mean,
if you look at
really, the whole
statistics,
purpose of a lottery is to win by chance. I mean, how do you even feel good about winning the lottery if Kali gave you the numbers?
Yeah, but if you look at the lottery, the less education, the poorer you are, the more money you spend on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is a statistical fact.
Now, you taught me that.
Yeah, because you don't know the statistics.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And even if they
It's good to hear
do,
someone
One
else stutter
chance
on
to
that
make
one.
fun of my stutter. Yep.
even if you tell them the numbers, though, they're still fucking gullible because what the fuck else do I have to try? You know, like, what else? What else that's easy can I try that might, make me instantly rich?
Well, Chris, you've been there before. You stood there behind that counter for the person scratching lotto tickets for 3 fucking hours.
Oh, I
Spending
despise them.
hundreds of dollars, and then getting all happy like, yeah, I won $50. Well, yeah, you just spent $200 to get $50. It's like, how about we just play a game of you give me $20 and I'll give you $1 back.
All right. Or I'll give you a handshake, and a smile, which is way more than the state's ever going to give you.
But every once in a while, I'm not going to give you the $1 back. I'm just going to take your 20.
Uh-huh.
And then he's gonna kick you in the nuts.
Like, want to play again? Yeah, I had
That's right.
I had the one lady sit there one morning. It was on a Sunday morning, and she was scratching, and she just told me about her whole family and her kid being in jail in the mental hospital because he ate too much acid, and her daughter's a fucking crackhead, and all this shit. And I'm like,
how were you just not like, wow, it's weird, lady. You seem like a really great mom.
But I bet you felt so much better about your life at the end of it, though, didn't you?
I really did, and still was really questioning, like, what did she do with hers that she has all this money to blow on fucking scratch tickets? Like, she's not paying for her kids anymore, so alright, well.
Kids are expensive, let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So if they're both in jail of some sort, then I guess you get your life back. Let's play some scratch offs. Yeah, so good job, Florida. Drink more Mountain Dew, why don't you?
Hey, that's what I'm drinking right now, thank you.
It makes sense to me.
Gross. So anyway, Pepsi's against my religion. I think I should just throw that out there to the world.
We're glad that you did. Yeah.
Mountain Dew is the devil. So that's the
So is
thing, Callie.
foosball.
So is cheeseball what?
Foosball. Foosball's the devil.
Foosball. No
Mama
doubt.
said so.
Mama said so. And the Goyles are the devil.
You guys are really tickling my medulla oblongata here. So
Man, don't make me come over there. Show you how to tickle that nasty ass. So yeah, 1,000 years is a long time, man. It's a long time. How would anybody know if she actually holds true to that bargain? You know, how would anybody know?
I guess it's faith.
Does
man.
she-
Sometimes you gotta have
Does
faith.
she like protect you in
Gotta have
hell?
Faith, baby.
Are you?
I mean,
Is it the? It's
I
like,
know that we're asking her to stay, but just please don't go away. But she's giving us the blues.
I think
Baby.
it's like, I think it's like, hey, you gave me a little kid, so I'm gonna protect you for the rest of your life, and when you get to hell, I'm gonna let you crash on my couch until you get till you get on your feet, and then I'm gonna cut your balls off and drink your blood and wear them on my fucking, keychain for the rest of eternity.
Well, but that just shows that she cares
Right.
enough to dangle something fun in front of you before she snips and dips.
Well, she likes trophies, but I mean, the thing is, she holds you down for that next 900 and I don't know 20 years or some shit. That
I mean, I didn't say that part was going to be pleasant. I'm just saying the part before it was okay.
It was okay. So, moving on. Uh, yeah. It says the devotees tend to subject their victims to a lingering death, preferably under prolonged torture, as by doing this, it means the flesh, blood, and bones are believed to be properly confected. So Kali is no bullshit. She does not want you to just, strangle him and be done with it, and then do all the other stuff. No. She needs.
Well, yeah, human remains taste a whole lot better if there's suffering before.
She wants that gamey flavor. That's what she wants.
Mm-hmm. She needs to taste the fear.
Taste the fear, exactly.
You know, I hear that fear tastes a whole lot like cherry Coke.
Ew.
I know.
Pass.
Right?
No, I'll pass on that. So, okay, so this guy, he doesn't matter who he is. He made mention that, remember we had said that the numbers really aren't accurate at all, like not even close.
Right.
So this guy, he says that the numbers are really more probably based on how many missing children there really are versus
okay.
Yeah, versus how many are reported to have had this happen to them.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, a lot of children in India, and
so is it mostly children that are being sacrificed?
it is mostly children. Yes, it depends on the ritual, though.
I mean, they're the easiest targets.
So there's another guy that mentions, or he argues, that references to human sacrifices go way further back than Tantra in the 8th century. More like the Rig Veda, which was written somewhere around 1500 to 1000 BC, which is a long-ass fucking time ago. But in the Rig Veda, there's a story of how the cosmic man, or a cosmic man, is sacrificed in order to generate the universe and social and caste systems and such, and so what happens is that they're a ridiculous offshoot of some shit that never should have happened, and they're taking it all out of context.
Well, there's another thing that
if there's
you just
even
mentioned
context to take it out of.
is the caste system over there too. There's no upward mobility. You are where you are,
Right.
and that's it. It's kind of like
Well, it's hard to
medieval
climb a ladder
England.
if your legs are stuck in a cast.
You know,
That
if
too.
you were born a peasant in medieval England, you were going to die a peasant. If you were born a prince or a nobleman, then that's where you were. There was no moving up or down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And same thing as India today.
Well, that's why they love Bollywood so much. You know?
Oh man, if I could sing like those people, I would totally move to Bollywood. But it's a lot of like voice
Right.
things that I can't really do, as I just showed you.
I
So-
can't do it. I was a child of the 90s, man. I can't wear pink. I can't fucking
And then there's the
dance
dance.
around exactly
thing.
with this big goofy ass smile on my face and sing about love and stuff like that. I just can't do it. I can't.
The only Indian song I know is about naked women dancing in France. So
Right? And
Mhm.
the hole in the wall and such. So yeah, there's just this whole thing about, I think really what it comes down to is they're fucking psychopaths, and they were bred to be psychopaths, and they were trained to be psychopaths, and they're just fucking nut bars who are just I don't know. It's too much.
Well, that's
though.
like when psychopath is the base level norm. Like, where do you even go from there? Can you even go anywhere? Because that's your base level norm.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to really be trying to, like, I don't know, better yourself to get out of that rut. Or, like, actively trying to be much worse to worsen it.
But do you know if there's anything better if you're dirt poor living in northern India?
If there's anything better than murdering children for your everyday annoyances, probably. Maybe, like, pick up basketball or something.
Yeah, I mean, football.
Learn how to draw.
Yeah, football.
Play the ukulele or some shit. So, here's a not probably not so surprising fact, but most of the victims, the vast majority of the human sacrifice victims, are usually poor, disabled, or belong to the weaker sections of society. Um,
I was gonna feign shock and amazement, but no.
yeah, you can't
it's
even
just-
do it. No.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah, there is, however, a preference for young boys between the ages of 3 and 12, but there are also plenty of missing young girls as well. So, it just, but with the, specifically with the tantrics, though, if they take girls, most of the time they would be a girl who either just started menstruating or like something they'll take virgins and stuff like that, or children who were breech babies. I'm not sure why that comes into play, but
It's the butt first business, man.
it's a thing, I guess. Callie doesn't
Well,
like
if you're going to
I
be
was
ass
breech.
backwards, I mean, you might as well go all the way.
them. Bass backwards.
And their cross section of society that they seem to take for these things sounds a lot like your writer when you perform concerts live, Chris. Is that a coincidence?
I'm gonna let you think it's not.
Okay, good.
So
I'm gonna sleep better at night, knowing that I'm safe because I'm not menstruating.
good, good. I mean that's always in the back of my mind as something that helps me sleep at night. Thank
My
God I don't
menstruation
have
patterns?
a vagina.
That's weird. Oh.
Sweet.
Yeah, but then when you wake up, you're like, fuck, I really wish I had a vagina.
No.
Depends on the shower head.
I mean, just for like a day or two.
Yeah, but not that. Not one of those days.
Oh, no. I don't need blood leaking from it the only 2 days
Yeah, I
have
don't.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to know what it's like that bad. So anyway, a lot of time. Well, every time,
You
pretty much.
misogynist.
It's nasty. The children who are sacrificed are mutilated, tortured. A lot of times, their ears and noses will be sliced off to unleash streams of blood, which is then
Seems like that would happen.
yeah, it would for sure. The cartilage and all that, the fucking all those capillaries, which the blood is then collected in vessels and offered to the goddess. That's why the little boy had the hole drilled in the back of his head instead. Perhaps.
Well, that's better than why I thought they had it drilled back there.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, no, that's not part of the practice, Jason. That's part of your weird American or European fucking brain. But yeah, so that's what that was about. And then you know what, that may also have had something to do with their level of psychopathy, maybe.
Okay.
You know, or their severity of it, in that they couldn't bring themselves to do the other thing, because that's pretty man, I mean, it's all intense, don't get me wrong, but slicing someone's ears and nose off before you kill them, I mean,
Oh yeah, that takes a stomach of
Oof.
steel.
that's a level of dedication right there that I just
And a very sharp knife.
yes, or a really fast swing. Anyway, let's
It's
not.
only 15 pounds of pressure to remove an ear.
Yeah, but
Robert, stop letting us know things like that you know. It's really fucking creepy.
so a bunch of them are known to drink the blood during the ritual. Rituals are generally performed on new or full moons, and there have also been cases where the organs were removed and boiled and eaten by the god men who were performing the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's like I said, there's it being so difficult to get this word around, as well as the fact that, like we said, the cops believe in it too. The fucking politicians believe in it too. You have to, like, how do you start from the top? You can't start from the bottom. There's too many, so you got to start from the top. But if you can't get the rich people to go along with it, then it's never ever gonna work.
I keep thinking of The
Yeah.
Purge.
It sounds.
Because you ever see those movies where the rich people go out and buy the poor people so they can kill them on purge night?
No, I didn't
I
bother
have
to
not,
watch
but
it.
I'm aware of them and what they are. So I can say yes. I haven't seen
I
one,
saw the first
but
one. Was not impressed. It
yeah.
it takes a lot to
Not-
impress me
not
with a
enough
horror
boobs.
movie nowadays. Because, well, fuck, we're from New Orleans. It's not scary.
I haven't seen a horror movie that actually scared me in a long, long time.
I like horror movies that make me think. And I don't have to necessarily be scared. Although a nice little jump scare thrown in now and then are fucking great. But
Kind of like
Like,
the Cabin in the Woods, wasn't it that?
that's a fun one. But like I don't know, probably my favorite. I mean, is Let the Right One In. But
Yeah, you're the weirdo that
I mean,
knows all
that's-
those underground cult classic fucking.
oh man, check out a movie called The Witch.
You know I won't.
It's so good.
Now,
You know I won't.
Let the Right One In. That's the one with
I wasn't talking to you.
the child vampire, right?
Yeah, don't give it away.
Have you ever seen
God.
the original Russian version where you got to read the subtitles?
Hey, I did see that
But it's not-
actually.
That's far
not-
creepier
it's not
than
Russian.
the American.
I saw the Russian one.
It's not Russian.
Or
It's
whatever.
It's not
Whatever it
Russian.
was.
For fuck's sake, stop saying
Ukrainian?
Russian.
Ukrainian,
Goddamn.
Russian, whatever it was.
No, it's Swedish.
Bullshit.
But keep going. And oh my God, it's Swedish. I own the fucking movie 3 different ways. That's the one I was talking
Yo,
about.
mama. Well, I saw that one. I saw the original one.
That's the good one. Yeah, the American one is garbage.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even bother. When I found out that they made an American one, I immediately got pissed and fucking protested in my head.
Yeah, there's very few movies that I will watch and actually read the subtitles on, and that is one of them.
Mm.
And then Crouching Tiger,
Yes,
Hidden
it's very
Dragon.
good.
I'll read the subtitles on that one too.
True that.
Oh, you don't even have to. The movie's so good, you can just make up words and it's still just as good.
Still just as good. And little Shang Xiu, I think is her name. She's so fucking cute.
Okay. Yep.
Anyway,
She certainly is.
you guys keep derailing me on some bullshit.
Hey man, Robert's the one that brought up the bullshit. I was just playing along.
I shall destroy the both of you in kind.
Rule number 1.
See? Good callback, sir. Good callback. So, yeah. Okay, now, another problem that comes into play is that the more educated it seems over here or over there, the more educated they are, or, excuse me, the more money they have, it seems like they have less use for the intricacies of the religions. Right, so they still believe
Okay.
and they still pray and all of that, but I think it's like slowly turning into kind of like what Christianity is, as far as I'm concerned, is the fear. It has less to do with the love that it was supposedly originally based on. It's really control, and we all know that. But it's now turning into the fear of what if I don't? What if I don't and it's true? And that's why the term God-fearing just pisses me off to
Because you shouldn't have to fear
my
them
God, it
to be a
it
good
infuriates me on a level that the same reason Christmas pisses me off. Because fuck you. If you say something nice to me on Christmas and that's the only time of the year you say something nice to me, fuck you and the fucking stupid dickhead reindeer or horse with fake antlers you fucking rode in on, you piece of shit. I hate that.
Well,
I
happy
just
Kwanzaa to you too.
what the hell is Kwanzaa? Me and Lex were just
I'm
talking
pretty sure.
about that shit. What is that?
That'll
I don't
really
know.
sidetrack you if I explain it. Just glaze over that for now.
Yeah, no, we're good.
All right.
Because you tried explaining that to us on the Facebook page when we actually asked that in the show before Christmas, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know.
Just glaze on
ADD.
over it and move it on.
There will be another Christmas episode, though. Perhaps we can jam it in, cram it in. Wham, bam, thank you,
No.
ma'am, it in. Oh. Anyway, moving right along. Yeah, like I said, so if it's all turning into this whole God fearing thing amongst the intellectuals and the rich, then that's even less of a chance that you can get everybody to adhere to such a thing, because they're still going to spend their money on it, and they're still going to do whatever the fuck they think is necessary at the time, because they're fucking selfish. And it just, there's no good explanation. There's no right, course of action. You just got to try shit and hope it works. And really, it's going to come down to an oppression sort of thing, I think. You have to press the issue before anybody is just going to jump on board with you. If they're not afraid of what you're going to do, then they're not going to give a fuck. And that's just human nature. That's just animals in general. If they're not afraid of you, then they're going to do whatever the fuck they want. That's called domination. That's what
I believe Jason calls that prison rules.
Right.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, I do.
So,
But, it works with animals that can't speak English. But you and I, sir, are English speaking.
well, they just bite
And
you.
you and I, sir. I mean, I do that too, though.
Dungeon. You're the one supposed to be getting bitten, remember? Anyway. So yeah, there's many factors to this that have to be addressed and possibly forcibly dealt with.
So you're saying bring back the Inquisition?
That's
Well,
a
right
tough
now
one.
it's competing ideologies.
I think it's
'cause
for the
you
opposite
have-
reason, though.
But you have the highbrow bookworm who's just showing up to church just because that's what they're supposed to do,
Uh-huh.
and not really believing it. They're just like, holy shit, this is what I'm supposed to do to be seen and heard. But then you have the poor people that are desperate, and they're the true believers that are actually going to do it. And then you have the people in the middle that are just trying to live their life and go on, and they could give a shit about Cali because they're worried about putting food on the table.
Right.
So realistically, you're going to squeeze that middle until they explode, and you're going to have 15% on one side and 15% on the other side, and that 70% in the middle is just going to crush both of them eventually.
I mean, you'd like to think so. That's where logic comes into play, is that if we're doing just fine and we don't have to give a shit about it, then why do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think,
And maybe if you stop giving a shit about it, maybe give a shit about something else. Maybe the shit will start giving back.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to put it simply, get a fucking job. How about that? And that's not just to say it to be an asshole. That's like, fucking focus on something that matters, you dipshit. How about that? The times didn't have to change for you to, I really do believe that though now. I never thought about it before, but the older I get, I start to think about all kinds of shit I never thought about before. So this is one of them. I really honestly believe nowadays, now in my life, that even if I did live 100 years ago, I'd still be the kind of person that comes to the realization that this is all bullshit. I don't fucking need this. What the hell? Life sucks with or without it. Life can be good with or without it. Getting a blowjob is still awesome with or without it. So, what the fuck? What am I wasting my time for? And
I'm sure that there were many people with your same exact mindset and sentiment, but when it's so much so much more dangerous to express
Right.
that, then you fucking keep it in your pocket and you believe what you want to fucking believe, and that's fine. But going to tell your neighbor that could be life-threatening in a lot of
That's
cases.
the thing, but see, it's fine for the moment, but it does way more harm in the long run, which is what exactly we're talking
Absolutely.
about now. You know, it's that same
Right.
thing. Oh, is a white lie really harmless? Is it? In this case?
Why it got to be white, Chris?
That's a good question, actually.
Oh, I think it was Thomas Jefferson that said, if there was a God, surely he'd rather be questioned with boldness than given, what's the rest of it? It's questioned with boldness than feared, something like that. Basically, if there is a God, don't you think he'd want you to question? I mean, why else would he make you up the way you are? I mean,
No,
if
he
he
totally
just wanted
doesn't.
blind
That's the whole story
followers,
of
he would have
Lucifer,
just
dude.
made you. He would have just made you a blind follower.
That's
But
what
he
he
gave you
did.
that free thought
Right,
for
exactly,
a reason. If you know.
Well, and I believe it was JJ from Good Times that said, "Dynamite."
Mhm.
Get
That's
that.
absolutely right.
You know, and I think it really, I mean, it really encompasses everything that we're talking about. You know.
Yeah, dynamite. It encompasses quite a bit. There is that cool holiday in India where they go around fucking color bombing each other, which looks awesome.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say dynamiting things. I was gonna be like, that is something that I can get behind.
Well, it's an explosion of color.
Yeah, but that shit gets in your mouth and in your eyes, and it's not that you don't know what it's made of. It's that you don't know whose grubby, nasty hands touched it.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. They're all grubby nasty. It doesn't matter whose it was.
Yeah, I guess there is a grub nast baseline. So the whole hygiene sitch is probably not where you want it to be if you haven't had many shots.
So it's already an hour into this fucking episode, and I haven't even gotten past my first stage because of all this bullshitting. Like, honestly, I had like two or three more things to talk about.
I honestly thought that you didn't, and because you are bullshitting just along with us just as much, and I was like, wow, maybe he had less than he thought he had.
No.
And so this is
Come,
where we're
sir,
at
stay
now.
on task.
Okay, well let's.
Not.
Well, do you? Is there one of the two things that is more important than the other, or do we have to hear the second to go to the third, or?
I mean, not really. It was just more. I mean, it was just fun stuff on the subject, really.
I mean, we still have a half hour, man. I'm all ears.
I don't know that that's
And
ever been
some teeth.
true.
Tickle some lobes.
All ears, some teeth, and 3 hairs.
That is an awful look. That's like Guado from fucking Total Recall.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Ew. So, okay, alright, well, let me see what I can actually skip over. So, like I said, the one guy makes mention of how, you know, you could probably get a better gauge of what the real numbers are by looking at the number of missing children each year, which I guess 2016, 55,625 minors went missing in India that year, and
Jeez.
of those, 34,814 were girls. So, obviously, it's not all ritual sacrifice victims,
Right.
but that's still a hell of a lot.
Yeah, signs point to early death by religion.
And again, though, these are the only ones that are being. These are still only the ones that are being reported. Imagine how many poor ass towns the cops never fucking even go to. You know?
Right.
So.
Right. Or the parents, they come home and their kids are missing and they're like, oh God, thank God I hated that thing.
You know what though? I mean, that's strangely truer than anybody would like to think, because that is definitely one of those countries that kids do get sold by their own families
Mm-hmm.
into slavery and or prostitution. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really, unfortunately, it's not really that big a stretch to imagine that parents could come home and be one child less and actually be okay with it in some kind of weird way. I don't. It's fucked up. So, all right. So anyway, this shit happens a lot, and but on the other hand, when it comes to the intellectuals fighting against it, some of them take a very public stance on the whole thing. Some of them
Right.
are atheists, because there's at least one or two that are like outright atheists, and the rest of them are just like, um, they have their religion, but they don't believe in all the charlatan fucking black magic and shit like that. Like, it's not
Right. Right.
necessary
Right.
for them to love their god or whatever.
I mean, is that a dangerous position for you for one to publicly take?
Extremely.
Like,
Yes.
okay, so it's your life could very well be in danger because you are speaking out against this well entrenched.
Not could very well be. Absolutely is. Yes.
Okay.
100% is in danger. And that's actually what I'm going into as we speak. So,
The danger
yes.
zone.
So there was a guy. There was a dude, and this isn't the atheist guy. Oh no, sorry. This is the atheist guy. So his name.
Okay, let's call him Goose.
Goose. Sanal Edamaruku is his name. And Sanal Edamaruku was holding this whole public speech thing, talking out against them, and and one of them made his way through the crowd. His name is Pandit Surinder Sharma, and Pandit, I think, is a title. Um,
Right.
so Surinder Sharma is a tantric god man, black magic, sorcerer, blah blah blah, and he just threw a fucking fit in public in this big fucking, god damn it, might as well have been a press conference. It was huge. It was live TV,
Mm-hmm.
right? This guy throws a fucking fit, talking about how, this guy is bullshit and, never go against the gods and yada yada yada. And he says, okay, cool. Well then, if your shit works so well, how about you do it on me right now? Live TV.
Uh-oh.
And everybody went, no, oh no. So this fucking guy, he just stood there. He just stood there, straight faced, not disrespecting the guy, you know what I mean? He wasn't talking shit. He just says,
Mm-hmm.
show us all right now. I am willing to sacrifice myself for this cause. Show us all right now. This guy just went through motion after motion, mantra after mantra, dancing and clucking and fucking. It was quite the display.
Wow.
Quite the display.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but this was what wound up sparking this actually was that there was a who is it? Government official Uma Bharati, former chief minister of the state of Madhya Pradesh, right? And she was accusing her political opponents of using tantric sorcery to cause disasters in her life. So she believes in it, and she's accusing them of using it against her. Because that's the thing, you don't use it to do anything,
Yeah.
so why not, right? So
Well, it's like, nah, you're just ugly, and that is a big handicap in life, lady.
It's not getting me jobs. They don't want me to suck their dicks. Ooh.
Goodness, Chris.
No, I assume that in a very, 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 very male-driven society, that would be like one of the only ways.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful, but that's where my mind.
So what happened with
immediately
this
went.
stupid lady and her stupid claims?
Right. So, uh, so this guy is dancing around, and he's doing all this shit. Now, this guy, this Surinder Sharma, he is supposedly the tantric godman to the stars. Like, this guy is fucking super famous himself. He's been seen and hired by politicians and fucking celebrities.
So he's Brad Pitt's guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And he threw a fucking fit, and he's dancing around in public on TV, and none of it works. None of it
Shocking.
works.
I wonder why. That's so weird that it wouldn't
It's
work.
so weird, right?
Strange.
So yeah, man. And he's got all these charms and all this bullshit, and then at the end of it, he goes, "Oh well," it's something to the effect of, "Oh well, I mean, it didn't work because even though he prayed to a powerful God, that guy said that he's an atheist, and because he's an atheist, you know, these simple spells won't work on him because he doesn't believe them. However, this is live TV, and I need my temple and my special ritual space, right? And it needs to be done at night, and then all these other factors that weren't adhered to at this time because, you know, you pissed me off, so I had to wing it, right? So
Right. And you know, if you're not prepared for something like that, it's not going to go right.
Yeah, he didn't have his infant dicks or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had like a scratchy throat from eating all the infant dicks before he got there.
Yep. Deep fried. So, okay, oh, look at that. I got something wrong. Not important, though. It was just that initial portion of it wasn't the live portion. It did happen in public, but it wasn't televised live. Okay. It was mentioned. However, the part that was televised live was the actual ritual that he did at night. Like, this was such
the one that he was totally prepared for. He listened to Whitney Houston in his headphones before he got there, and he was like, "I'm in the mood. The time is right. Let's fucking do this."
They did a whole fucking thing where he performed the ultimate quote unquote the ultimate destruction ceremony. So he's like,
that sounds fun.
"I'm gonna send fucking cameras. You just let us know when you're ready. We'll send the camera guys over there. I'll come over there myself. I'll sit in this little carpet and in the Indian position or whatever you want me to do. I'll wear whatever you want me to wear.
In the us position, yes.
You know what I mean? I'll put on the loincloth or fucking do some yoga or tie my dick around a stick or some shit, whatever. And we'll get this done." So he did. And under the open night sky, the tantric and his two assistants were kindling a fire and staring into the flames. So they, once the ultimate magic was invoked, it says, there wouldn't be any way back. He was warned, right? He was totally warned.
Right.
Within 2 minutes, he got fucking crazy with all of this bouncing around and fucking waving skulls and throwing fucking like cinnamon into the flame and all these little unknown things that he was pouring and tossing and shoving into the fire to make sparkles and, you know, different colors, and
You mean the magic that he was doing?
Dude, he
Chris.
pulled out his entire 6 demon bag.
Mhm.
Yes. And he gave the guy extra opportunities to back out before it was too late.
He's dancing around, throwing just useless crap into the fire. He's like, this is totally gonna kill you if you want to just back out now. We wouldn't feel bad, it's okay if you just back out.
Pulling the
I'm gonna
ultimate
keep-
move. I'm gonna count to 3. Throw some shit in the fire. 1. Are you sure you want to do this? Throw some more shit in the fire.
And when
2.
that kid just sits there, goddamn Indian fire, just staring at you, I'm sitting
2.5.
here. Once you get to 2.5, 2 3/4, and then you're like, fuck, he's calling my bluff.
Yep. Now see, he went through. The guy went through so much detail. He actually told him that what's going to happen once it gets to the peak of the ritual is that he's going to fucking go insane. He's going to scream in pain and die. And all of this would happen within about a 2-minute time span.
Sweet.
Right?
Ultimate destruction.
So yeah, exactly. Ultimate destruction. So he's chanting, and the speed is increasing as he's dancing around, and he's throwing shit into the fire, like I said, and it's just creating all this fucking crazy colors and sparkles and smokes and shit. He even danced like right up in the dude's face, and he was like touching him in the face and like pushing him and fucking poking at him, trying to do this whole intimidation thing, and the guy just kind of stood there straight-faced and just let him do whatever. Alright, put your filthy fucking hands in my face and whatever you gotta do. You got people standing on board, on the side with some Purell. Do what you gotta do. Even though the TV people were trying to stop him from touching the other guy, because everybody could tell this dude is just pissed and he's just showing the fuck off.
And he might just have a knife in his hand one of those times and stab him in the face and be like, see, ultimate destruction, I told
He
you.
very well
Or some
might.
kind of poison or something like that.
Yeah. He kept saying he'd forget. I forgot. Oh, my bad. I forgot. But this is the ritual. Like it has to be done. But I'm not trying to hurt him necessarily. Like with my hands.
I'm just trying to ultimately destroy him. God.
For eternity, even. So he went so far as to write the guy's name on a piece of paper, tore it into a bunch of small pieces, dipped him into a
That
pot
son of a
of
bitch.
boiling butter, and then threw him into the flames.
Delicious.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He sprinkled water on him. He mopped. It says he mopped a bunch of peacock feathers over his head. I don't know if mopping is the right word.
Not, maybe just like moving them over his face
Yeah, I'm thinking.
while touching
Yeah,
him.
just fanning him or like beating him with some feathers or something. But either way, he still just stood there, and all of this was supposed to go down at the witching hour. So between, well, maybe not the exact witching hour. It was like all before midnight. He was supposed to be dead at midnight.
Right.
Or
So what time is it now?
otherwise he would turn into a pumpkin or some shit like that. I don't know if they have pumpkins in India.
A fate worse than death.
So, 7 more minutes left before midnight, and he gets desperate. He decides to use his special technique of
He pulls out a gun.
wheat flour dough.
Okay.
A ball of wheat flour dough. He kneaded it. He powdered it. He added mysterious ingredients. Then he asked the dude to touch it, which he obliged. And then, the final pièce de résistance, he put a bunch of nails in it. And then he cut it with a knife a bunch of times, all wildly and fucking mean-mugging motherfucker.
Like a man possessed,
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes.
And then he threw them all into the fire. And at that moment, homeboy was supposed to just and fucking fall down dead. But he did not. Instead, he laughed. And then
that's what I'd have done.
all of that took place, and it's like 40 more seconds. And he just called it. He's like, you know what? You got like 20 seconds left, dude. I'm going home. This is you're fucking you rested my case for me. So the thing was though that there was an issue being talked about where what happens if he does drop dead? What happens if this works? Do we prosecute the tantric guy for murder? Because the guy asked him to do it, so was it murder?
Yeah, no, that's all in the name of science.
And then that's kind of what they said, was that he assumed the risk, so they really wouldn't have done much of anything about it.
Yeah, it's like bungee jumping.
Yeah, basically, you sign the waiver and that's what's up. So, dude was embarrassed as fuck. Highly embarrassed, but
Right.
this is
Rightfully
hilarious.
so. Yeah, it is. He's got a new career in comedy.
I mean, it blows my mind that would be something still in this day and age. That's something that the whole country clamors to watch. Is this gonna work?
I would have watched it.
But like, what really like surprises me genuinely is that, I mean, the dude that was doing the ritual knows full well the entire time that it is not going to work because it's all bullshit, and he knows this, but for some reason he keeps letting it go on.
Well,
Like,
he's letting
you
it
know,
go on
like,
to prove his point.
By the end of this, the dude you're doing this for will not be dead. You know this. So why? Because the dude is steadfast and he ain't fucking around. And if he's going to come sit here and give you everything that you need for all the perfect things to happen, you know that he's not going to back down.
Now, wouldn't you plan
Why
ahead and have some kind of
continue the
poison
charade?
or something that you could just like touch him with?
I was going to say, you need somebody off in the distance with a blow dart or something.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, they had security set up to try to avoid things like that from happening, because they totally expected him to get desperate at some point and try something shitty.
Right.
And really what the main theory is that this whole thing, especially the death rituals and shit, it's all the ones that like this that were done in people's faces are basically all just designed to scare you to death, to give you a heart attack from fucking fear. I mean, what the fuck? How many people really will die of fear? How many?
The only ones I know of are like 16th century like Southern belles, where they're like, "Oh my God, I'm getting the vapors."
I don't know.
And then they pass out and
You
die.
can convince somebody that they perpetrated the most heinous crime in hours. It's been proven over and over again that you can program somebody to believe that they did something that they did not do.
Right.
I like to program people to make them think that they've perpetrated the most heinous crime imaginable.
Have you been watching Chris's tabs again?
Anus assassin.
Hey,
That's a fucking callback.
I do my
Chris.
job. What can I say? What can I fucking say? So, it's so the question is.
So the atheist has been dead for years now because of this, correct?
Well, died of laughter.
Oh, well, I mean, then it worked, right?
I guess.
Oh, I would not be able to stand there straight faced. I'd be taunting them the whole time. I would.
Right.
I'd be like, "Where's your God now, man? You're gonna be so pissed when I wake up tomorrow."
But that taints the process. Like, you have to make sure the dude that's trying to prove this to you has every single thing he needs, so he can't come back later and be like, "Oh, well, did you eat before you came? You weren't supposed to eat before you came here. That's why it didn't work. You had that McDonald's in your belly. and the special sauce really screws with the whole thing. You know? So if you don't follow his guidelines, sit there straight-faced, let him do everything in his power to do it, then you taint the process. And then it's just an excuse to be used to keep stupid people stupid.
Pretty much. So, moving on, I got two more things real quick in these last few minutes. Following that whole sort of thing, there was an anti-black magic campaigner who was actually physically assassinated for campaigning against this.
Was he physically assassinated?
No. Like in public. This was not.
So you had nothing. You had nothing.
I
to do
was
with it.
nowhere near that area at that time. That's correct.
Okay.
He has an alibi.
So this guy was he was in Maharashtra, and he was fucking doing his little public speaking thing, and two guys rode up on a motorcycle, parked it about 30 feet away outside of a police post, shot this guy in front of everybody. They just walked up and fucking blasted him.
I expected machetes for some reason, but
Mafia
that's, I mean,
style.
public death is public death, and for reasons that are stupid.
It's ridiculousness, indeed, and yeah, it's fucked up that this guy.
I'm certainly not getting a case of the vapors because of it.
No, well, I mean, but that's also why I said like this. It's a very real thing that these, they are in danger for doing this, but it has to be done.
Wait, are we now in danger for doing
I
this?
certainly hope not. I did say at the very beginning of the episode that I love India and I'm very fascinated by it, and I absolutely adore their food. So,
Still more afraid
But you
of
are
my
speaking
government.
out. You know what? Never mind. I am going to leave it alone and all of the blame on Chris. I am just doing what I'm told,
I
people.
accept. So, final thing that I'm going to go through, which I promised in the first episode. I'm going to tell you where to go get some. You want some? Let's go get some.
Okay, let's do it.
So, check out blackmagicbabaji.com. Baba G is an Agori black magic user. Agori being the specific type practiced by the tantrics and such. So a little bit about black magic Agori Babaji. It's as old, and this is straight from the website. I'm not doctoring it at all. Black magic Agori Babaji is as old as our civilization is. Black magic Agori Babaji has basically been defined in two different ways. A, it is a bunch of negative energy that a person flows in the body of other, and this ways it hurts or make another person anxious, and sometimes he dies too.
Well, okay, so it can either make them anxious or sometimes he died
Right,
too.
that's A. Now B, some said that the black magic, that the magician worshiped their evil god, and on request that god or his juniors does the job. Right.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me so far.
So this guy says, I personally, and this is the fucking admin of the website, I personally
It's like the
had
testimonial.
many reviews and meetings with tantrics and saints, and I got to know that the second definition is more relevant. Magicians worship their evil god, and after making him happy and settled, they ask him to do whatever they wish. Black magic Agori Babaji is all about getting a person's desired work done by creating a problem for another person. Black magic Agori Babaji is not a solution to the problem, but is another problem for a solution.
Oh, yeah. I got 99
Indeed.
problems and Baba G ain't one.
Babaji ain't one.
I was going to say that Black Magic Agori Babaji sounds like the newest hotness out of Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I'd rock one. For sure. I mean, I want to try the whole flying through the air and landing next to my true love sort of thing.
Like I said, I think it would be better if it just told you who your true love was, and then when you found them, it would allow you to fly through the air. That way you get to impress your true love into falling in love with you. I think flying through the air first is just a waste of taxpayer dollars, frankly, and I won't have it.
Right, right. Well, see, I think Baba G is also a title of some sort of a specific type of magic, because I'm going to read off the lists of services that you can have performed for you through this website.
Indeed.
So you have Love Problem Solutions, and a whole list there. Black Magic Services, and a whole list there. Vashikaran Services, which are a bunch of mantras. And then their specials, like what they specialize in.
Oh my god. Oh, I thought you meant like the daily special where it was like cheaper at 12 or something.
No. This is more their specialty. So
This is their niche. I get you. Yeah.
so Black Magic for Love, Babaji. Black Magic Tricks by Babaji. Enemy Died mantra, Babaji.
So he can make it to where your enemy, past tense, has died.
It sounds that way. How to destroy enemy, Babaji. Love Vashikaran Specialist. I don't know how that's a thing. Black Magic in India, Babaji. I don't know how that's a separate thing from any of this other shit. Black Magic
It
Mantra.
seems like that would be all-encompassing.
Right.
Yes.
Black Magic in Hindi, Babaji. Lost Love Back by Black Magic. Will my...
Missed connections.
Right, yeah, see? Missed connections. Will my husband come back?
No, he
No.
won't. Not if you're looking at this shit, he
No.
won't.
The let's see, some of the rest of those don't make any fucking sense.
Please tell me there's one where it's like love magic to make enemy come back.
Let's see, for love solution, for wife, to get love back, lottery numbers, enemy solution, business.
Lottery numbers are a love solution.
That's in the Black Magic Services category. Love Magic, Black Magic Removal Services. Oh. X-Love.
That's like a maid that comes by twice a week.
Ugh, gross. Wife problem, husband and wife problem. Let's see, love problem solutions. Pretty much it's just a mix of those words, just in different order.
So blackmagicagoribabaji.com. Visit it. He is not a sponsor, but we will sponsor the hell out of some socks if you want us to.
Oh, there's a ton of them now. That's just like one of the main ones that pops up first. There's a Facebook page for.
Of course there is.
Okay. Well, if you're going to go into another one, you got to be quick about it. We're at hour 32, and it is thundering and lightning like crazy outside my house, and my house is super known for losing electricity, and if I lose this episode, I will be super angry.
No, your face hole. I'm not going to go into anything else. We're good.
Not at you, I won't be angry, but you know what? I think all of that stuff, like where you can find them and stuff like that, like that'd be cool to just post on Facebook. Let people have the link in their hand, because I don't know how to spell blackmagicagoribabaji.com.
Oh, well then. Fine. We'll do that.
Sweet. And since we're already running kind of late, I'm going to say, Robert, no joke for you. And Chris,
Yes.
learn how to drive better and not be so angry at people that are just on the same driving level as you, and you're just like, you think you're so much better.
No, I'm way above
And
them.
Jason.
Like literally and
See,
figuratively.
that's
Fuck
the-
them.
That is the attitude that I'm talking about. And then what I have to say to Jason is, Jason, this was another episode of a show that was just full of facts, non-facts, and Bible facts called See No, Hear No, Speak No.
The UFOs, the conspiracies, Baba G apparently, and nasty moitas.
And me, Baba Rabat.
What? Email us at see no hear no speak no pod at gmail.com or snhnsnpod@gmail.com. Both work, we swear.
We swear.
But now, it is time for a countdown.
Good, because I'm starting to
3,
get hot again.
2,
1.
Until next week, kids, have a ball.
Indeed.
Or 2.
Don't have anybody murdered for lottery numbers.
Goodbye.
Later, kids.
I gotta have a faith.